Fantasy Philosophers is brought to you by fantasy-info.com.
Kevin Kolb received an opportunity to start Week 2 and Week 3 after Donovan McNabb suffered a rib injury in the first game of the season. In Kolb's 2 starts, he averaged over 350 yards passing and 2 touchdowns for each game, but we also got an opportunity to see how him and Deshaun Jackson worked out together, as in both games Deshaun had big touchdown plays, and that's really nice for fantasy owners to know walking into this year, because the Eagles felt strong enough after Kolb's performance and maybe the things that they've seen with him in practice and all that they could trade away Donovan McNabb. I disagree with the fact that they got rid of McNabb to the Washington Redskins, a team in division. But other than that, the trade, I can understand it, as I think it allows this offense, which is a West Coast offense, to maybe get back to more of its roots. And that is, more of the short mid-range accuracy, timing, and rhythm plays, getting the football out on time in the right spot accurately. I mean, again, we saw this between Kolb and Deshaun Jackson. When you hit Jackson on the run on maybe a slant, he can make a move and take that thing to the house from 60 yards out or whatever. And, those are things that we used to see with Jerry Rice, with Steve Young, and Joe Montana, and even other quarterbacks that were guys like maybe Elvis Grbac, Steve Bono. They knew how to get the ball out on time to Rice, and Rice could take it the distance. And same with Deshaun Jackson. He can do that same thing. He's got really good talent. Maybe he's not going to be as good as Jerry Rice, but he's still got good talent. He's probably a top 5 receiver for fantasy this year, and he's one of the most explosive, if not the most explosive receiver in the NFL right now. So with Kolb, this is an offense that's very good for him. I like the fact that they have a very good offensive line for pass protection. That's going to help him out a lot for being accurate in the passing game. He's got some big playmakers in Deshaun Jackson, as we know. Another guy that's on the rise in Jeremy Maclin. He's got a good, solid Pro Bowl caliber tight end in Brent Selleck. So these are good options for Kevin as he's getting ready to start for his first full season on the team. I also see that probably the Eagles, they're going to move things around. I know they're experimenting right now in OTAs with different style of offenses and things. I'm sure they're going to try to exploit using, Michael Vick at different times as they did a year ago. But at the end of the day, this is Kolb's show. Again, in the 2 starts that he had a year ago, we saw him throw for about over 700 yards, in those 2 games. To say that this guy could make a run at around 4,000 yards this season isn't that much of a stretch when you consider that LaShawn McCoy is a running back. He has made good strides. They've given him a lot of good praise coming into OTAs this year. But at the same time, they have the hardest schedule to run against this year. And I know there's people out there, they don't place a lot of emphasis on strength of schedule and this and that, but when you have the hardest schedule against the run, that means something, especially when it's not like you have some dynamo sitting back there in the running game. Look, McCoy, his game is more of, hey, he's going to run the ball, but he's also going to catch the ball underneath, and that catching the ball underneath should still be used quite a bit this season, as Kolb will use him underneath and get the ball to him. But again, they do have a good passing schedule this year, and so it just leads to show that, hey, they're a team that likes to throw the ball a lot anyway. The schedule dictates that they should probably be continuing to throw the football, and their offensive line blocking, they're more geared towards pass protection than maybe run blocking. So that also leads to believe that they're going to throw the ball quite a bit this season. Because of the structure that Kolb has, we've got him right now moved up to about the 10th quarterback to take. I think he's just below where Brett Favre's at, because it looks like now Brett is going to come back. So we've got him at 9, and we've got Kolb at 10. I did have Kolb a little bit lower than that, but, I have concerns with Donovan McNabb and his situation with that very shaky offensive line. And Jay Cutler, there's just, and you can read more into what's going on with him at his player page on the site at fantasy-info.com. Or right now, even though usually I don't put a guy like Kolb above guys like McNabb or Cutler that have proven they can go for, maybe high 20 touchdown totals and around 3,800 yards passing. They can do those things. I don't like to put a guy that hasn't proven it. But because of the structure, I'm going to say Kolb is a guy that you should jump on this season. And when you're in that point in the draft, hey, jump on this kid, go get him, and then maybe you go get another guy that can back it up in case he struggles later on.
For more fantasy football information, Go to fantasy-info.com and sign up for our free e-newsletter. Good luck in your 2010 Fantasy Football League. As an added bonus, the Fantasy Info guys will include their 5 secret tips for success in fantasy